Hello and welcome. I am Hilda Homsem Frantuam. This is a special report on your agricultural television, Arcn Abuja. The Academic Staff Union of Colleges of Agriculture, Asuca, met recently at the conference hall of Arcn Mabuchi, Abuja, to discuss ways to develop the colleges of agriculture, advance the welfare of its members, improve agricultural activities in the states, and call the federal government to reinstate colleges of agriculture into the Tertiary Education Trust Fund, TED Fund. Speaking during a press briefing, the national president, Dr. Peter Aboki, said that the situation has led to infrastructural decay and dregs of training facilities in the colleges. Despite the strategic position of agriculture in the country, all efforts falls into deaf ear, unlike other related institutions who have their funding through TED Fund. He added that despite being tertiary institutions regulated by MBTA and running ND and HNDs, hence they won't relent in this plight.
This press conference is released by the Academic Staff Union of Colleges of Agriculture in the country. Follow up to a press end of meeting we held today. We believe that it's necessary to hold this press conference so that we can contribute our voice to the development of the agricultural sector in the country. Permit me to welcome you once again to this very important press release after the 4th National Executive Council meeting of the Academic Staff Union of Colleges of Agriculture here in Arcn. The National Executive Council meeting came to a successful close today. The NEC had discussed a series of issues that will advance the welfare of its members, develop the colleges of agriculture in the country, improve agricultural activities in the nation, among others. The meeting, having extensively reviewed the funding challenges faced by the agricultural sector in the country, and particularly for us in the colleges of Agric, we want to applaud the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, General Muhammadu Buhari, retired GCFR, who for signing into law the Agricultural Development Fund, which we believe will form a major funding agency for the agricultural development of this country, which is long overdue. This, no doubt, will bring robust development in the colleges of agriculture in the country and to advance and to achieve Mr. President's desire to diversify the economy of the country through agriculture. Of course, that is a challenge that has to be faced. For every nation to develop, it must be self-sufficient in food supply to feed its citizens, which can be achieved through mechanized system of agriculture. Of course, the needs to commercialize agriculture is very necessary if we must advance to, if we must increase food production to feed the ever-increasing population. Colleges of agriculture are set to achieve this if concerted efforts are made in this respect. Of course, the strategic positions of colleges of agriculture cannot be overemphasized because of the categories and the caliber of training that we give to the nation, the technical aspects which is key to development of the sector. The colleges of agriculture and related institutions do not have any form of funding, unlike our counterparts, the universities, polytechnics, and colleges of education, who have their funding through the Tertiary Education Trust Fund. This is in spite of the strategic position of agriculture in the survival of our nation. Other lower tiers of the educational institutions, that's primary and the secondary schools, also have their funding through the Universal Basic Education Board. The colleges of agricultural and related institutions have been denied state fund intervention despite being tertiary institutions regulated by the National Board for Technical Education, the NBT, and also running programs in ND and HND, like the polytechnics. And these programs are also regulated and accredited by the NBT. Yet, having been on the same status, the colleges of agri do not get the state for intervention. The paltry 5 to 10 million naira that was given to the colleges of agri was stopped in 2011, when they were finally delisted from the state fund. And the simple reason was that some people in the National Assembly felt that colleges of agri are monotechnics. I don't know what that means. And hence, they shouldn't have enjoyed, or they should not enjoy the state fund. So the paltry 5 to 10 million that was given as intervention for certain projects was finally stopped in 2011 via the House of Representatives. Several efforts made by this union, Asuca, the NACHCA, that is heads of colleges of agriculture, the Arcn, and other stakeholders in the National Assembly to reinstate the colleges back into state fund for full intervention were frustrated. 5 bills were sponsored both in the Senate and the House of Reps to bring the colleges of agri back into the state fund intervention. Did not died out at the committee levels of the National Assembly. The infrastructural decay and dearth of training facilities in our colleges is quite pathetic. Imagine graduating a student with national diploma or higher national diploma in animal science department that has not seen even a milking machine or a bodizer that is commonly used to castrate animals, and is supposed to be the technical officers in charge of these activities. Such facilities don't exist. Or you can as well think of a student with national diploma in agricultural technology or agricultural engineering that cannot even differentiate a plow from a harrow or a ridger. And we expect that such a person will be able to work on these machines. And it's simply because we don't have the funding to be able to acquire these facilities and these machines, to be able to teach these students on how they can advance their professions in it. And that is one of the major reasons that are of our concern. Those are the situations in our colleges. Consequently, it is believed that the funding of Agricultural Development Trust Fund be heavily tilted to colleges of agriculture and research institutes. They desire qualified technicians who are needed to drive the agricultural wheel of production will be trained and made available for the much desired agricultural transformation. We therefore commend the initiators of the bills, the Federal Minister of Agriculture and the President, and President Muhammadu Buhari, for these great feats in ensuring that the agricultural trust fund comes to stay. We are also concerned about the expected managers of this fund. They must be people of proven integrity, good character, and have passion for agricultural progress. Because some people want to ascend to some offices just for the benefits of the offices, but not for the responsibility in those offices. And this union will not be happy with that. We recall with nostalgia Asuca's concerted efforts for our colleagues, the universities, to give us a listening ear to enable colleges of agriculture to be part of the TED fund. They didn't give us this support, especially when these 5 bills were in the National Assembly. First reading, second reading, the public hearing, and most of at the public hearings, you will discover that these bills were not supported by the universities, which is quite sad. We believe that we needed that support to be able to advance our general interest of increasing food supply for this country. But unfortunately, we didn't get those support. However, our efforts fell on deaf ears. Asuca will vehemently resist any vampires, scavengers, or poachers who will want to convert this fund. What we simply are concerned is that some people will want to be part of this fund, maybe to advance their personal interest. We, as a union that is concerned with the agricultural project of this country, will not relent and will vehemently resist any attempt or effort to convert this TED fund, this trust fund, that is the AGTF, not to allow it to deliver on its mandate. We will not actually accept that. Hence, we will continue to monitor the progress. The purpose of the establishment of this fund must be realized. Hence, Asuca will not relent in this respect. We will continue to support and monitor the progress in actualizing this trust fund for the agricultural sector. That is our baby project. So I will continue to pay attention to it.
They were asked of the way forward if the head of service of the Federation delayed the implementation or release of the scheme of service to the colleges, and in respect to the decay of some of the colleges' infrastructures, what effort have the union put in place amidst waiting for the government's intervention?
We didn't get the support or the consent of getting involved, being captured by it. What are we going to do? I think that's the question, right? Yes, in respect to that, after the 5 bills that were passed in the National Assembly, that went through the National Assembly and not passed, we lost out in those bills. And along the line, the issue of the Agricultural Trust Fund came up under the Agricultural Research Council bill, which was signed by Mr. President last year. And in that bill, the component of the bill which provides for funding for agricultural development in the country, to us, we are leveraging on that as an alternative for now. And we believe that if that agency, that fund comes on board and it is properly operated, we will be able to achieve our interest. But as it is said, he who fights a runaway lives to fight another day. Even though we will not continue, well, maybe one day we'll still come back to the TED fund battle until we get what is legitimately ours. Now, the question raised by Mr. Daniel from Redeem FM. Now, since if we made a point that the AGTF, that is Agricultural Trust Fund, must be properly operated to achieve the mandate in which it is established. If that does not happen, what do? We will continue to put pressure until the right thing is done. That is the essence of the union. We will continue to monitor it, follow it up, make sure that what is put on paper is actually put on ground, because doing so is achieving the objective of the bill itself and the fund itself, which is to bring development to the agricultural system of this country and more food for us. That we will not relent. We will continue to put an eye on the implementation of the bill until it is properly done, because that is our duty as a union, because the success of it is the success of the sector in the country. And the question raised by the reporter from Arcn, Hilda, on what we say concerning the decay of infrastructures in our colleges, it's quite pathetic. She has visited one of our colleges, as she said. If you take a trip to any of these colleges, you actually see the situation we are talking about. And it's expected that these colleges are supposed to provide the required technical manpower that will drive production in agricultural sector. You don't employ degree holders to run machines. You don't. Those who actually run the machines, operate the tractors and other machines are the technical officers that are trained by these colleges and some of the polytechnics. That is the national diploma holders and the higher national diploma. These are the people that actually operate and run the machines, both on the farms and off the farms, and in so many other places. And it is because of that, we believe that such institutions should be properly funded. Not just paying salaries as it is done now, but they require machines, tractors, combined harvesters, spraying machines. Today, agriculture has gone advanced. We use airplanes now to spray farms. We use drones to spray farms, to spray chemicals, broadcast fertilizer. And this is the advance that we have in technology, which we think need to be brought to this country. Comparatively, for those who have traveled out and have the benefit of visiting similar colleges outside these shores, especially in Asia, which we started from the same pedestal, you will discover they've gone ahead. Most of the operations on the farms in processing are automated. You can imagine if you go to, for example, a poultry farm is supposed to be automated. You don't carry water to feed birds. You don't carry feed to feed birds. Once you go to a panel, you will just set the water you water that day, the kg of feed you feed that day, you just set it on the panel. And the feed it runs down the poultry house via chain feeders or via conveyors. But how many farms, how many colleges have these machines to be able to teach our students that this is the way we can grow agriculture today? That is why most of our students, once they are given admission to read agri, they start crying. Somebody got admission to read animal science in one of the universities around. The next thing that he was crying. Say, what did they give us? Say, animal science. He started crying. So he was encouraged. He went into it, and he's happy about it. But the fact is that if we have these machines, modern production techniques, facilities are there, let me tell you, students will want to come and do agri. But because you can imagine you leaving your village to come to read agri, and you are expected to carry hoe and cutlass to go and till the soil and control weeds with the cutlass or hoe. I think we've gone beyond that. And it's one challenge that this country must face squarely. It must take off from where we are. And the HGTF fund and the Agricultural Trust Fund, we believe, is properly implemented. It will help us to solve some of these problems. The other question by the officer from Reading, Daniel from Reading FM. Say, how is the fund, that's the HGTF, how will it help Nigeria achieve food security? I think the question about food security, the answer to this is not far-fetched. Mechanization, or some words some people call tractorization. But advancement in agriculture requires modern machines. If we must increase the scale of our production, we require modern machines. Crops, livestock, processing, and so on. So definitely, if this fund comes up, most of these machines are made available, first of all, to train our graduates in the colleges, and further advance or encourage available farms to adapt this. The issue is that when these graduates are trained properly in these areas, even when they find such machines on farms, or when such machines on farms are brought, they will be able to operate them. The one fact which we have noticed is that so machines are brought in from developed countries because we have not trained our people here to be able to use them. Their adaptability to our environment becomes difficult. And we have people that can operate them. Further from there, parts can be fabricated locally to maintain these machines here. And this starts with the proper funding of our colleges. And subsequently, of course, we will expand our scope from agri to other engineering activities in the colleges, which will create an interface between science, agriculture, and engineering. And this will help us advance the cause of agricultural development in this country and achieve the most needed food security in this country. There's one other issue which was raised.
Scheme of service. What are we
Yes. The scheme of service, the question that was asked is that if we're saying that the last portion, the last part of the presentation, that, okay, if we're asking for the release of the scheme of service, what have we been using before this one? I think normally documents, there are documents. If a review comes, you will use the old one while the review lasts. When the review is concluded and signed into law, you begin to move from the previous scheme or document to the new one. And the document that we have been using are the old documents who have been reviewed. And this review has captured some critical things that never existed in the old ones. And there are so many things that are not in the old ones that are in the new one that are supposed to advance the welfare, increase the performance of staff, and other benefits to staff and to our colleges and research institutes. And so it doesn't mean that the colleges were operating in a vacuum, but there are documents that are still subsisting. When the new ones are signed into law, we will move from the old ones to the new ones. And that's why we are calling on the head of service to release these ones. We are part of the review some years ago. We did the necessary amendment where we think is of the best practice are supposed to be put. We did those things. And it's over a year now, running to 2 years. That document is in the head of service. That's why we are pleading that you should look into it and sign it so that it can be used. If that is done, it will reduce a lot of problems that's already been developing our institution concerning staff management and staff welfare, so many other things.
He, however, applauded the leadership of the Senate and House of Representatives, Honorable Ministers of Agriculture, Finance, Justice, Accountant General, amidst other communities and prominent individuals who made it possible for the law becoming a reality.
We commend the leadership of the Senate and the House of Representatives, various committees on agriculture, both in the Senate and in the House of Reps, Minister of Finance, Federal Minister of Justice, as well as the Accountant General of the Federation, among others, for immense contributions to this law becoming a reality. I think this effort has really yielded the establishment of this agency.
Solidarity forever, for the union makes us strong.
This is a special report on the Academic Staff Union of Colleges of Agriculture and related institutions on the way forward relating to issues affecting them and possible ways forward. I am Hilda Homsem Frantuam. Stay tuned for more of our programs. Take care.